The Israel-Hamas war has devastated the Gaza Strip. Airstrikes have destroyed people's homes. Thousands now live in makeshift tents. The landscape is full of bombed-out buildings. Some structures are still partially standing, while others are now just piles of rubble. And what is absolutely evident, say many, is the human suffering. From October 8th, 2023 to Wednesday of this week, estimates show more than 42,000 fatalities and nearly 500,000 people facing food insecurity. Meanwhile, almost 2 million people have been displaced and 84% of Gaza has had Israel-issued evacuation orders. Additionally concerning, the number of children killed, more than 11,000. One doctor wrote about his experience in Gaza, and we recently had a chance to speak to him. A word of caution, though, what you hear, you may find disturbing. And joining us now is Dr. Feroze Sidhwa. He is a trauma and general surgeon who worked at the European Hospital in Khan Yunis, Gaza, for 2 weeks in the months of March and April. Doctor, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. I know that you worked with the New York Times to write a guest essay called 65 Doctors, Nurses, and Paramedics. Talk to us more about that, why you thought it was important, and a little bit more about what you saw in Gaza.
Yeah, so, when I was in Gaza, I kept a journal while I was there. That's the only reason I know this. But I saw 13 kids who had been, I'm talking about small children, not 17 and a half year olds, but pre-teenage children who had been shot in the head or the chest. And at the time, I just assumed it was the work of some local soldier who might be just a bit crazed. And I went on with my life. But then I mentioned it casually to another physician who'd worked there, and he said, yeah, I saw the same thing almost every single day. I saw a young kid shot in the head. So then I got a bit curious, and at that time, I was writing an open letter to the Biden administration that was signed, this was in July, it was signed by 45 doctors and nurses who worked in Gaza. So, and basically everybody said the same thing. Yeah, anybody who worked in the appropriate setting, the ER, the OR, the ICU, they all saw the same thing. So then after that open letter, the Times reached out to me and said, can you write something about this? So I said, sure. So we came up with the idea of polling as many healthcare workers as we could find to see what conditions they personally witnessed. And, it's the New York Times, of course, so they're interested in things that have some sort of political meaning. And I think it's kind of obvious what the meaning is if in the catchment area of every hospital in Gaza, every day, or at least very regularly, for the past year, children have been shot in the head. That's kind of hard to dismiss as not meaning anything about what's going on there.
It's very disturbing. The essay also talked about malnutrition in Gaza. Talk to us about that. I mean, how bad is it?
There is a huge problem of severe and extreme hunger in Gaza. I couldn't give you the exact numbers right now, but it's something like at least a quarter of the population has severe food insecurity that is bad enough that their rate of death is increasing. So, it's not the technical definition of a famine under the IPC rules, but it's what most people would think of as a famine when they just use the term casually. Now, when I was there, like I mentioned, I was in probably the best resourced city block of all of Gaza. I still saw children that looked like that. I shouldn't say looked like. I still saw children who were starving to death. The testimony from the New York Times article of the multiple healthcare workers speaks for itself. People said it was widespread. They saw plenty of people who had lost weight. Everyone's malnourished, but it's getting to the point that it is actually killing people, and probably in large numbers. But this is one of the scary things about Gaza. We actually don't know how many people are starving to death in Gaza because the Israelis won't allow independent teams in to check, and the U.S. backs them in that, in my opinion, quite unreasonable stance. So we don't even know if we're starving tens of thousands of children to death in Gaza or not. I think that's terrifying.
Dr. Sidhwa, thank you for coming on and sharing all this with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.